Mr. Heroes turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio. I crave a hero.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. I'm Allie Ellery, coming at you live from Pensacola, Florida. Joined with me, we've got Dustin out in Cleveland. And Dustin, the year is 2012, and Phillip Rivers is a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
44 is such a young age at quarterback in the National Football League. Tom Brady has set the new standard. You can play to the age of 50, according to Tom Brady. You got a 40-year-old. Let's see, we got 40-year-old Flacco this year. We got 42. Rodgers, is he 41, 42, something like that? Yeah.
Not sure, but
so you got a 42, you got a 40, 41, you got a 44. I mean, the median age for a quarter of the teams in the NFL is like 40-some years old. Let's go.
Crazy. That's so crazy.
By the way, that just goes to show you he must still have an arm. Like,
well, yeah, of course.
And that's what they talked about with Drew Brees, like why he had to retire. He just lost his arm strength, right? That was the whole thing. So he's been coaching high school football. I guess he's been running the same offense that the Colts run. Yeah, so.
Coaching down here in Fairhope, Alabama, just 40 minutes away from me. I didn't know that. Had we known that, we would have gone. But no, didn't know that.
Well, Allie, they may need someone to coach the high school football team. I mean, you might.
I'm ready. Just sign me up. Sign me up. Well, I'll run a good offense. I'll probably just stick with like the Kubiak tree. That would probably be my offensive philosophy. That's a fun segment. We could say if we were coaches, like what would our philosophy be? We'll do that one day.
Ooh, we should do that. And by the way, speaking of coaching, I guess Michigan can't help themselves from cheating on anything.
What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. And a total shock. I feel for Michigan fans. I don't. I didn't sign up for this. I mean, look, obviously they're not my favorite team, but I just can't imagine. That sucks to be in a situation. Look, Dustin, you and I know this all too well, being Browns fans and having something happen to the team where it's morally compromising and you have to live with
that's a good point. That's a good segue, Allie. I agree with that. That's a really good
we as a fan. It is not. Yeah. And I do feel for them. We've experienced that with the Deshaun Watson trade and all that came with that. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. We've got some things to unpack tonight. We're going to obviously talk about what happened last Sunday, the loss against the Titans. I wasn't able to do a post-game show, so I want to talk about it here. We're going to look ahead to the Bears. Of course, we're going to bring David on here in just a little bit. But, Dustin, let's start with what happened against the Titans. Before we do so, I want to give a quick shout-out to our good friend, where's she at? Crystal John Tony over at EXP Realty. If you're buying or selling real estate, you've got a couple of questions, you can give her a call. She can help you, point you in the right direction, 216-215-6663, or email at johntonysells@gmail.com. Let's talk about it. Shedeur Sanders had a great game. Was saying 3 touchdowns, played very good football. Unfortunately, the Browns weren't able to come away with a win, despite basically all of our keys to a victory being checked off.
Right.
Just go the keys to a victory don't mean much in the National Football League. You just have to. I mean, anything can happen any given Sunday. Let's talk about it. Your viewpoint of what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, I was there. I got to witness it. The defense, the defense gave up a lot of yardage on the run, and we know if you can't stop the run in the National, usually probably a disaster waiting to happen. But I got to, and we'll get into, we're going to unpack this a little bit about Shedeur Sanders, but the fact that he is getting the ball down the field vertically, his patience, pinpoint, it looks like an effortless ball being thrown, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing. He's doing it with his legs, his arm, and he's the first quarterback since 1950 for the Cleveland Browns to pull off something like this. The first one to do something like this since Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and some other guys. I mean, he's being mentioned in some pre-aware company. I get it. Pump the brakes a little bit. It's the Tennessee Titans. But still, he came back with 2 touchdowns late in the game, which is, by the way, what you want in a franchise quarterback, to be able to come back from behind and lead your team to victory. We'll get into the 2-point conversions while someone's got a hot hand of poker and you take them out of the game. and fold. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this going for a 2-point and then trying to then really desperately go for a 2-point later on. But this game he just looked poised the entire football game. Like I can't take away his confidence is getting, and we talked about this on previous podcasts. We know where the ceiling was on Dylan Gabriel. We knew the ceiling was higher for Shedeur Sanders, right? We just knew that just based on his skill set. That is happening now. We're seeing it. He's making better decisions each and every week with the football. And I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be 13 degrees. I don't even want to think about being at that football game, but it's going to be 13 degrees in Chicago this weekend. But I'm excited to see what he's got next week. Like, it's something to look forward to. And by the way, I don't think we should draft quarterback next year. That's just me being blunt. But
I mean, I still think it's too early to tell, right? We've only seen a handful of games, and don't get me wrong. The ideal situation is that Shedeur is the guy. Like, hear me when I say that is the ideal situation. I just still think that's a little premature. And the question is, well, what do we have to see from Shedeur to not draft a quarterback? And I think the question really is, I mean, it obviously it depends. If Shedeur can go out and give you over 300 passing yards every single game, well, obviously, but it's likely not going to be the case. That's just can't maintain that.
That's fair.
That's great. But I do think if to prevent the Browns from taking a quarterback with one of their first round picks next year, you got to go out and you got to win a couple of games. Now, I know that in the grand scheme of things, it's probably ideal for the Browns not to win these football games. That way they get a better draft position. But if you're Shedeur Sanders and you want to be the guy next year, you have to find a way to go win these games. The Browns have to win because of Shedeur Sanders. So that's what I'd like to see. I think if those things can happen, I think it's possible that they don't. So we'll see. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want to highlight this comment here. I think I did just a moment ago. Our good friend here, Titans averaging 5.3 yards per carry absolutely killed us. Yes. Tony Pollard had a day, 25 carries for 161 yards. He was averaging 6.4 himself with 2 rushing touchdowns. His longest on the day was 65 yards. Tyjae Spears, he only had 19 rushing yards. Cam Ward rushed for 4 yards. So it was the Tony Pollard show and the rushing attack. Now, the receivers, they weren't able to do much downfield. Their leading receiver was Tyjae Spears. He had 2 catches for 28 yards. He was the leading receiver on the day. DK, he had 24 yards. Chigo Okonkwo, 20 yards. So they weren't able to move the ball down the field. It was the rushing game that was just absolutely dominant. Cam Ward, he was 14 of 28 for 117, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He was only sacked once on the day. Just when you compare notes here, right, it's hard to believe that the Browns didn't win this game, and convincingly so. Cam Ward, 14 of 28 for 117, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Shedeur Sanders, 23 of 42 for 364, 3 interception, and also a rushing touchdown. It is just crazy to think that the Browns didn't come away with a win in that. But Tony Pollard, he was the reason. And of course, also special teams. We go back to special teams and the woes that front, and the defense not having the day that they normally do. That's the reason. We talk about how this team can't win because of the offense. Well, the offense was enough. The offense was enough in this one.
Well, we scored 29 points. Think about that. We almost scored 30 points in this football game,
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it was obviously unfortunate, but at the same time, you come away with that okay, well, some good things still happened, right? Shedeur Sanders was great. He had, I think the longest pass in the past 2 months for the Browns. It's been refreshing to see. I will say that.
I will tell you the things that were problemsome, like he pointed out in the Ravens after the Ravens loss. I think it was the first time I'd thrown to Jerry Jeudy all year, right? Well, 3 games later, here we are, right? And he found Jerry Jeudy in stride downfield, right? In a perfect position into the end zone, that pinpoint pass to David Njoku where only David Njoku would be able to catch it. And, and then smart enough to know the defense has given him the middle of the field to run in for a touchdown. Those are all things that are progressions with a quarterback that's getting better and better, right? And I think that's where, for me, I don't think it's too early to not draft a quarterback next year. I know some mock drafts now have us taking Carnell Tate now. If he continues to progress at this, and I don't see why he won't. Now, again, yeah, he needs to probably win a game or two down the stretch, but at the end of the game, but if he's getting better and better and 250, 300 yards a game, like,
well, yeah, then you have your answer, and you absolutely have to see what you have in this guy, right? You have to, especially as a 5th round pick. And then you take the best receiver or tackle available in the 1st round. Awesome. Sign me up for that all day. That is the best case scenario.
Yeah. And by the way, trade down if somebody's greedy and needy for a quarterback and stockpile picks, because here's the thing. If he does hit and we sign him on a 5th round rookie deal, do you know what kind of talent you can put around him for the next 3 or 4 years? You're sitting in a damn good spot as a franchise at that point.
Listen, I think when it comes to the draft, obviously we don't know exactly how this is going to play out, where the Browns are going to sit, draft position, but let's just say for whatever reason they are sitting at 5. They've got the number 5 overall pick. If both Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore, assuming he comes out, both go, if or projected to, then I can absolutely see a world where they trade down. But if somebody like Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore fall to the Browns, I could also see where they make that selection and there's a battle. I mean, let's go to the whole Shedeur Sanders experience so far has been in comparison to that of Brock Purdy, who, we know that the 49ers gave up several 1st round picks to select Trey Lance, didn't work out. And then they draft Brock Purdy. He's the guy. So he had like 6 games or so to kind of prove himself, where they were going to take a quarterback. They went with Brock Purdy, but that next season, he still had to compete for that job. It was still a battle, and he won it. So I wouldn't be surprised that if that is the case and they're in a position to get a guy that just falls to him or falls to them, kind of like Shedeur did, maybe they pull the trigger on that and there's a competition, and hopefully one of those guys is it. But I'm in total agreement with you. Like, the progression is awesome. The ceiling is high. Hopes are high. I think it's possible that Shedeur Sanders can be the guy. I'm excited to see more. But also just a really unique situation going into this next draft with 2 1st-round picks. So I think I'm very glad that Kevin Stefanski has named him the starter for the remainder of the season. That's refreshing, and going to, have all of those reps. We're in a good spot. Even Browns are not where we want them to be. Good spot to be able to see what you have in this guy going into a very, very, very critical upcoming draft.
Yeah, well, we'll have between 10. I know we have 10, probably more picks by the time Barry drafts. But yeah, you want a guy like this to hit, because, man, now you can go get him some talent, some protection, and all those things that you want that you can build around. Because here's the thing. We've already given him pieces. Fannon's amazing. Judkins is amazing. I mean, you've already got some pieces and parts that we drafted this year. Now you just add to that, right? And that's to put with those other guys, and, maybe another wide receiver, left tackle, some other guys that you can build upon. By the way, did you know the quarterback? I was doing some research on quarterbacks, because that's kind of, as you look to next year's draft. The kid from Oregon was born in East Cleveland.
Yes, I did know that.
I thought that was really interesting, and then left here around 5 or 6, and then was raised in Detroit and played high school football. But I thought it was. I didn't realize he was from an East Cleveland kid. So that was cool.
Yep, Cleveland kid. Yeah. So, listen, I'm very intrigued by these 3 players in no particular order, but these 3 players I'm very intrigued by: Shedeur Sanders, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. I think right now the question is, well, where do you value all of them in comparison of each other? But that is very premature, right? We don't even know the draft standing, so we're not even going to get into that. But, all eyes on those guys, and kind of throwing Shedeur into that mix as well, because we've got a couple of college football games ahead of us that we can still see some tape on Mendoza and Dante Moore. Mm-hmm. It's possible Dante Moore goes back to college, but assuming that he comes out in this hypothetical here, you've got some games to watch on Mendoza. You got some games to watch on Dante Moore. Obviously, we've got some games to watch on Shedeur Sanders. All eyes on those guys. I'm very excited about it, and I agree that being able to stockpile picks, talent, and then you get your quarterback in the 5th round. That is the best case scenario. Oh my goodness, sign me up for that all day. And you're able
especially a team that's strapped at the quarterback position salary-wise right now. I mean, that is like almost being given a gift, right? Because if you do draft a quarterback next year, top 5, top 10, whatever that looks like, you're going to have to pay him still a decent-sized contract, because he is that first-round coveted top 10 pick. Man, you've got, what is it, $3.5 million for, I don't know what, it's not much what you're paying Shedeur Sanders, so it's kind of crazy to think.
I want to highlight this. Yes, the need for the offensive line. We're going to talk about this here in just a moment. The Titans pressured Shedeur on 63% of his dropbacks. Yeah, that's we're going to talk about that here in a moment when we bring David on. And I know that was kind of the topic of conversation last week about just the continued question marks with this offensive line and continued struggles. And obviously you can't do anything with any quarterback decent, above average offensive or even average offensive line. So we're gonna bring David on here in just a moment. Real quick, want to tell you about our friends over at Stadium Mustard, guys. If you don't have Stadium Mustard in your kitchen this season, you are doing it wrong. The iconic brand, the iconic taste, beloved from ballparks to backyards and everywhere in between. Stadium Mustard is a smooth brown mustard rich in both taste and tradition. It is loved by millions. Be sure to head on over to stadiummustard.com to shop now. Dustin, tell our listeners about Greater Cleveland Aquarium.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't been to Greater Cleveland Aquarium, check them out. They're in downtown Cleveland, right on the Cuyahoga River. As you can see, you can check out the great shark tank there, and all the amazing other exhibits of aquatic species that they have actually there. It's very cool. It's cold outside in Cleveland, gives you a great opportunity to take the kids, the grandkids, or if you're just in town looking for something to do for a couple hours when you're going to the Browns game on a, go in there on a Saturday. They're open almost every day of the year. And then, by the way, go on Lady Caroline. Check out Lady Caroline. They have the New Year's Eve cruise that'll be going out. But check that out. You can go out there, enjoy a cool, awesome, and book some plans for next year. Lady Caroline, awesome ship, awesome people.
Yeah. As we approach the holidays and you are wondering, hey, what in the world should I do because I can't cook? Well, you can have your event catered by City Barbecue. Best in the business. They've got award-winning sauces, sides, meats. They can cater your event. You can go into their storefront. It's wonderful. It's awesome. Let them prepare your Christmas meal. All right, let's bring David on. We're going to do the medical moment. And of course, look ahead to the Bears. So real quick, this is brought to you by our friends over at Lorella Vineyards.
Here we go, Brownies Nations. We are here with Larry Lorello at Huntington Field to talk about Here We Go Brownies wine and all the other amazing wines at Lorella Vineyards.
Yeah, I just want to tell all of you guys, it's harvest season right now. We just started with some of the whites, and reds will be coming in next. Stop out the winery, all the wineries out in Northeast Ohio to check out all the harvest and what we're doing out there. Really good time right now.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Here we go.
Woof, 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 woof.
All right, let's bring him on, the husband of the program, Dr. David Ellery. Hi, David.
Hello, Allie. Hey, Dustin.
Yeah, David, we might as well just give you the doctor of the show the rest of this evening. You'll have about a half hour to talk about acquisitions, people leaving, you have a full show to talk about injury. So,
yeah, this is tough. We were hoping, we said last week that the list was pretty big and that we had to talk about it a lot. And we were kind of hoping that this week wouldn't be, growth upon that, but unfortunately it is, and it has been. So if you want to jump right into it, we can. We'll get started. So we know a number of players left the game, unfortunately, and then in terms of like what happened then, well, we've got two guys placed on the IR. That's kind of the first thing that we'll jump out with, which is a big bummer to one starter, one guy who's definitely a role player, but I think the biggest blow is center Ethan Posick with his Achilles injury. Pretty classic. The video showed it. He, planted his foot and you could see that pop in his calf. And so, unfortunately, likely Achilles tear. We know we're all too familiar with the Achilles tears. We know that people can come back from it, but certainly a little more concerning for someone who, is not a spring chicken, not in their 20s, and is, on a faltering offensive line to begin with. Doesn't bode well, I think. We'll see how he does in recovery and what the timeline is, but getting an Achilles tear in December is pretty tough because you're not going to expect the guy back until November, maybe October at the earliest. And that's on kind of a pitch count or a limited snap count until he's full go if he were to be able to remain with the team and return to full healthy status. So that's obviously probably the most devastating in terms of just kind of wait and see what happens with him.
Well, and as I say, he also, I think this is the end of his contract. So it's also pretty bad timing, from a contractual standpoint. Would you bring him back and hope that he's going to be healthy enough? So.
Yeah, Oh yeah.
No, just wanted to highlight this comment that Luke Whippler, oh my God, played 24 snaps and allowed 0 pressures in his replacement. Luke has been awesome. I think has been an absolute stud. Excited for his future, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's nice to see. I mean, it's not nice to see him coming because of an injury, but I'm with you. He's showing a lot of good potential, and someone that hopefully will step up and play a big role. And I think we even saw Zinter out there on the field a little bit, maybe as like an extra lineman, which is encouraging. Encouraging that they're mixing him in, getting him some reps because, as we know, the entire offensive line, even the interior is hurting, and guard and center guys can move around quite a bit. So if Whippler can kind of step up and play a big role at center, Zinter might be a guy who can come in at guard, which is his natural position, but play either side and really make a difference for this team and get a full off season, a full healthy off season. It's promising. So certainly not without hope. There's still optimism around some things, but either way, still bad news with that injury. The other player put on the IR is Jerome Ford. He had a shoulder injury and he is on the IR. As we know, the IR in season is typically at least 4 weeks, and that's all we got left. So we will call it a wrap for Jerome Ford's season, unfortunately. Let's see, where else do we want to go with this? The big kind of concern is the offensive line. Joel with the knee and back issue did not practice today. Jack Conklin with his concussion still not practicing, so he's likely not going to be playing on Sunday. Let's see, this is not very well organized. Wyatt Teller, that's the other one. So he's got a pretty significant calf injury as well. So I mean, just hit after hit after hit for the interior. He did not practice, and he's looking doubtful for Sunday. So I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 starters we're down for sure, and potentially 4 with Petonio. So this is going to be a ragtag group on the offensive line on Sunday, and it's unfortunately, it's a pretty eerie feeling to what we went through 2 years ago, 3 years ago, every year. I think it starts to speak towards their aging line and the health that is surrounding them. So I mean, that's the offensive line. That's the doom and grimness about it. Who else? Let's see. Tyson Campbell was limited with a shoulder injury, but shouldn't be any issue because he did practice. Malachi Corley, we know he sustained a concussion, but he did practice. He was limited, but he was participating and kind of making his way through the protocol. So we'll see if he can be a quick returner after just a week. Hopefully, that's the case. Just to have some more weapons out there. We know he's a speedster, and they use him kind of as a gadget player, but it works. And he's good from that standpoint. So hopefully he can clear the protocol and come back to play on Sunday. Grant Delpit did not practice, illness and groin injury. So hopefully that's just more related to an illness and he'll be okay to go. Let's see. Graham did not practice with a rib injury. So we'll see what the defensive line looks like. Aiden Huntington still not practicing with a squat injury. That's it on the defensive line, at least. Cedric Tillman, concussion, rib injury, did not practice. So he's certainly in the protocol and is not looking promising. Even more reason why Malachi Corley hopefully can clear. Denzel did not practice, also with a calf injury. Oh boy, Dylan Sampson did not practice, also with a calf injury. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is brutal. I mean, you look at, I have a screenshot of. There's always on the top, there's the Browns practice report, and then the opposing team beneath it. I mean, the Browns is more than twice as big as the Bears, and it is defeating. It is deflating. Carson practiced, still kind of nursing that ankle injury, but he was practicing. So Rashawn Jenkins, the safety, was limited in practice with a good injury, but he did practice. Is that everybody? Well, and of course, Deshaun. He's practicing. We know that he's in the window. But, I mean, as you guys already said, it's been very clearly, obviously announced that Shedeur is the starter for the rest of the year. And so we may see Deshaun in the backup role. We may not. This is more or less probably like we talked about last week, just getting back into the swing of things, practicing, getting reps, so that in the offseason they can decide what they're going to do with him. Flip it to the other side of the field. Anything of interest on their side? So we know Roma Dunde did not play last week. He was limited in practice today with a foot injury, but he is practicing. Same with Olamide Zacchaeus. So certainly, the strength of this team coming up is the running game, but still they have some gadget receivers, and Roma Dunde coming out of the slot has been really good this year. So we'll see if he's going to be a full participant in practice later this week and in the game. And really, that's kind of it of significance for the Bears. So, what What question do you got?
I was just going to say it's almost like who's going to play on Sunday versus who's not going to play on Sunday. And Allie, you can address this if you want, just to a sidebar. Because of those injuries, I believe we brought back a running back that was on the practice squad, as well as we signed 2 guys today, I believe, if I'm correct. I know, is it Mitchell was the running back that was on the squad earlier this year? I think
Put me on the spot here. Yeah. Goodness. It is
Travion Williams.
Williams. And then we signed a
tackle, Jeremiah Myers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Maurice Hurst.
Yeah. Maurice Hurst was back. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
And quarterback Trey Avery.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I mean,
it's the equivalent of going out and getting Phillip Rivers. You just got to find anybody who can actually put on a suit and play.
Isn't that crazy? By the way, I mean, isn't that just absolutely and utterly insane? When I saw that they had signed a quarterback, or were working out a quarterback, that wasn't on my list of
it was not on my bingo card that Phillip Rivers would sign with the Indianapolis Colts at 44 years old.
Crazy.
Neither was on my bingo card that the Michigan head coach would be fired either. So I mean, there's a lot of bingo cards in the last week. So
there's a lot of chaos right now in all of football, college and the National Football League, and I mean, it's fun. It's fun chaos. I mean, kind of, not for the whole Michigan situation. It's crazy, but
I'm just going to put this out there. I'm a big non-Power 5 guy. There should not be 2 non-Power 5 schools in the college football playoffs. Sorry. I'm sorry, David. Notre Dame, absolutely. I've seen them in person. They passed the eye test. They should be in there. I mean, come on. James Madison and Tulane both in there. Come on. I'm okay with one. Get out of here.
You got to win your games. You got to win your games. I mean, at the end of the day, the rankings are based upon what you've done, not what maybe you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let me ask you. I know we're going to go down a rabbit hole here. David, is it time for Notre Dame to be in a conference? I mean, Does that kind of solve it?
I think that solves a lot of the problems, and because they're going to get boxed out. I don't know when it's going to happen, but with the conferences growing and growing, and what you've seen this season with scheduling non-conference opponents, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, especially if you're playing 9 conference games. So people are going to continue scheduling MAC teams and Group of 5 teams and FCS teams if you're an SEC member. And I guess, so ultimately they're going to get boxed out and they're not going to have opponents to play. They're going to have 1, 2, or 3 honored rivalries, maybe, because based on things you're seeing, the ACC is they're getting in hot water with the ACC too, or Notre Dame mad at them. So yes, they should probably join a conference.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that they said we're just going to bow out, I can't imagine the people in NBC and that huge television deal were very happy about that because, as you know, there's a ton of audience from their fans, and for them to bow out of the bowl game was quite the statement. I was actually shocked by that. I was like, well, NBC cannot be happy today with that at all.
It rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. I hate it for the players. I mean, imagine, your kid's out there. He's a senior. He's not going on to the NFL. And you find out on social media that that's it. You weren't prepared. And that was just the last game of his. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's
really tough.
Okay, this is funny. I just got to put this up here. It makes me laugh. Has a grandpa ever started at quarterback in the National Football
League? No, Phillip Rivers actually first.
Has a grandpa ever played in the National Football League?
Oh,
I don't
let alone be a quarterback. Played. I mean, this is historical, maybe for many reasons.
This is nuts.
Has a grandpa ever played quarterback in the National? That's a really good trivia question. I like that.
I mean, if I had to guess, probably somewhere a grandpa did, maybe like a linebacker or somebody, you know what I mean? But quarterback, I don't know.
I got you. So, in fact, Brett Favre became a grandpa while active in 2010. So,
leave it to Brett Favre. He was with the Vikings probably at that point? I'm assuming he became a grandpa while he was with the Vikings. Well, no, maybe I don't know.
Nuts, crazy, just not what I expected to be talking about tonight. But here we are.
I mean, it definitely makes for at least more conversation and interesting things to discuss.
What do you think, though? I mean, David, you and I subscribe to new quarterback theory. what is the likelihood that Philip Rivers at 44 years old can come into a pretty good Colts team, go up against the Seahawks, who are very good right now, and I'm not even saying win, but put together some kind of performance? I mean, can he get north of 200 yards? Like realistically?
I guess that's the thing. Like, is he going to play Sunday? Have they announced yet if he is going to be a starter? Is he actually on the team yet?
Yeah, he is.
He is on the team, but they have not announced if he'll be the starter because Riley Leonard is still questionable.
Yeah, they.
Right. So I mean,
they announced him at the press conference today, but I don't think they've announced the starter yet. No.
In the scenario where he actually does play this weekend, I mean, we know he's got a cannon. We know he always has. He's a big passer, and so as long as he can get some receivers with some wheels and they can get open and get past, like I could easily see it being just kind of a emotional, shocking kind of like, here we go, Philip Rivers is back sort of thing. Now, is he going to go 4-0? I think that's a challenge. I mean, they're at Seattle, they got San Francisco, they got Jacksonville, and they're at Houston. I mean, they end the season with 2 mega divisional games. Like this is awesome. Like, get your popcorn ready. This is fantastic watching. And I'm with you. I mean, we saw what Joe Flacco did for the Browns coming out of retirement. And so it's not crazy to think that this could happen, because I guarantee you, as he's coaching down in Fairhope, Alabama, 40 minutes away, like you said earlier, that he's working out. He's staying fit. He's throwing bombs to those kids before and after practice. Like, why wouldn't you? That'd be a ton of fun. So we know he has the mental capability for it, and it's just, will his body hold up? I don't know. I'm excited.
It's just mind blowing that we're here. Like, that's just what's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah. Also, he's running the same offense at his high school as the head coach as the Colts are running. So it's not like he's going to.
There's no learning curve.
Right. There's no. And here's the thing: sign me up for Philip Rivers, taking the Colts to the playoffs. That'd be crazy. Like, that would be.
So Philip Rivers has always been he's been one of those players that has been in the conversation of, is he a Hall of Fame quarterback? Is he a Hall of Good quarterback? Well, what does this look like? Well, now that if he goes out and takes a snap, 1, does that reset this Hall of Fame clock for the next 5 years? Mm-hmm. And 2, what if this is crazy, like a total, shot in the dark here, but if they go and win the whole damn thing, well, then he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yes, if he wins the whole damn thing, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yes.
It's just crazy.
That's what I was going to say. If he's able to do something like that, he automatically becomes a first ballot guy. And I mean, with only 4 games in the regular season to play, he wins comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
By the way, he hasn't played since COVID. Let's keep that in mind too. It's not like he was like 2 years removed, 3 years removed. It's been 4 years since he's behind center in the National Football League. As we know, look at Deshaun Watson being out of football for a year and a half and how rusty he looked. I mean, we're talking 4 years. That's like an eternity in the NFL.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
And something that we've talked about on this podcast, and I know, Dave, is the development of it's a quarterback development problem. How college football and the NFL, they're not developing young quarterbacks. So the fact that they couldn't just go out and get, Sam Ellinger, who was with the team, to come in and develop him to be this kind of guy that can step in and at least maybe win you a game or 2. Now, I understand that the Colts are trying to make a playoff, but like it's just crazy to me that their first thought is, Philip Rivers can do that for us. And I'm not saying he can't. Yeah. I'm just saying that it's crazy that the first call is Philip Rivers and not somebody else, quarterback 3 in the league that's, maybe on a practice squad or recently cut or something like that, to where there's just a big quarterback development issue. And I think that's it stems from, maybe even down to high school.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm the Browns, I'm saying, and if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm calling up and saying, we got Deshaun Watson. Looks like he's ready to.
Can't do that. We're past the trade deadline. Can't do that. But
that's true. You can't. Damn it.
No, you can't do that.
Damn. So,
perfect. Yes. It's just, this is crazy. But
yeah, I
guess that makes sense why the Browns went and got Joe Flacco. I mean, after the trade deadline, right? I'm assuming it was.
Go ahead, David.
So here's a list for you. I'm going to give you 5 names. You tell me who you want, or do you want Philip Rivers? So you already said one, Sam Ellinger. We got Taylor Heineke. We got Trevor Siemian. We got Ryan Tannehill. We got Hendon Hooker. Which one of those guys are you taking, or are you taking Philip Rivers?
So I understand that they are trying to make a playoff push. So it's not just, can we bring somebody in and see what we have? It's somebody that is familiar. Philip Rivers played in Indianapolis. He's familiar with the playbook. That's why this is the way that it is. However, I personally would be probably intrigued by Taylor Heineke, who I always thought was a very solid backup quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, I'm just surprised that he never got picked up by anybody.
Right. I know.
Hendon Hooker had a lot of upside coming out of Tennessee. Detroit took him. Obviously, he sat behind Jared Goff. It's kind of like a Joe Milton situation in New England, and then he goes down to Dallas. Like, could you see what you have in him? But at the same time, for all the reasons that I just mentioned, familiar with the playbook, familiar with the organization, and that was his most recent destination, albeit 4 years ago. I can see why they did it, but crazy.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a playoff push. They have the best roster they've had in a while, and they're still hot. And you're exactly right. That's the best option. It's just crazy that is the case.
Somebody brought up, why was Derek Carr not called? I mean, not a crazy, there's
I believe because the Saints still own his rights. Essentially, he would have to be traded.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I have that correct. So,
I think so. Yep.
Obviously, we're past the trade deadline, so they can't.
Okay. Because somebody was asking, like, would you come back and play? And he's like, not really. I don't want to, but yeah. I mean, like someone's like saying like he's only 31. Like he's like kind of relatively. I mean, he's 31, 32. He's not very 33, maybe 34 at the most. But he's not like they were showing. Like, man, he
counting.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 34. I think he's 34.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Moving on real quick. Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Primetime?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out Primetime, go to one of their stores, obviously in the Belden Village, also at the Great Northern Mall, Hartsville. Check out all their great stores, all the great things they have there, from Ohio State Buckeyes gear to Browns gear to all the different signatures. And they're going to be doing some signings here soon. Bo Jackson, some of those players from the Buckeyes will be in down there. I believe it's December 18th. So go check that out. They'll be down there doing some signings at Great Northern Mall. Some Buckeyes will be in there.
There you go. There you have it. Also, I want to tell you about our friends over at We Bleed Ohio. As we go into the holiday season, you're looking for some gifts. They can do basketball, baseball, football designs. Of course, you can get your official Here We Go Brownies podcast hat, t-shirt, sweatshirt, all of that good stuff. So please be sure to check them out over at We Bleed Ohio Apparel. All right, let's do some keys to a victory. As we know, none of this matters because even if they basically do all of these things, they can still lose, as we saw on Sunday against the Titans. But nonetheless, we host a Browns podcast, so we're going to do it anyways. David, I'm going to start with you. How do the Cleveland Browns win this game?
All right, we're going to strike a balance. We got to find a healthy balance right in the middle. We saw Shedeur throwing 350 yards. It does not matter when the opposing team rushes for almost or over 200. So, additionally, Quinshawn was very limited. The run game was just abysmal for the Browns on Sunday. So, my offensive key to victory is Quinshawn with at least 80 rushing yards and Shedeur with 200 passing yards. If we can strike a balance where that is a good offensive complementary football where we're both running and passing and able to get production from both phases on the offensive side of the ball, I think that is a recipe for success. On the flip side, on defense, it's not really strength against strength. The Browns have the second best passing defense in the league, whereas the Bears have the second best rushing offense in the league. So that being said, do what you do best and shut down the passing game. Make them one-dimensional. We know that they have 3 great running backs, one of them being Caleb Williams. But if you make them one-dimensional and force them into the middle of that offensive line, even though there's some injuries, force them into the line, and what we know has been a pretty dominating, aggressive pass rush as well as just run stopping, then I think that can help. And so limiting Caleb Williams to under 150 passing yards is going to be kind of my key on the defensive side of the ball.
Dustin, what do you think?
So I really do think, I mean, it worries me in the sense that they are really good at running the ball, and we had a terrible week of not protecting against the run. So I think they need to keep the running game under 100 yards for the Bears. And to David's point, keep them one-dimensional and force them to run and just make them beat us on the ground, because passing is not their strength. And then for the Browns, I think you need to have 2 turnovers on defense. I think if you're going to be in this game, I think you have to create a couple turnovers on defense. And then third, I feel like I'm banging a drum, but every week I see a weakness at special teams. Another drop ball that we luckily got back this week, and then another ball that was ran all the way back. I'm like, why the hell are our guys out of position on special teams? I have no idea. Week after week, it just isn't getting better. So you got to play a much cleaner game on special teams to have a chance in this game, because if not, you're going to just put yourself in a hole like you have the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. For me, I mean, when we look at the rushing attack, the Browns are facing, we heard about this today, David. They're facing basically the most 8-man boxes pretty much across the National Football League.
40% or something?
Yeah, it's I think it's north of 40%.
Yeah.
As a team, as a collective team, 1.1 a carry. Quinshon was averaging 1.9 a carry. Like, that is brutal. Cannot have it. So I'm not going to do an individual one for Quinshon, because obviously it depends on what they're doing defensively. But as a united rushing attack for the Cleveland Browns, I'd like to see them north of 4.5 a pop. I would love to see that, because that obviously means that Shador's may be using his legs and Quinshon is able to do some things. Now, also, I would like to see, I said this last week, and I think in doing so, it opened up a lot on the field, and that was Shador Sanders with over 200 passing yards and 25 or more rushing yards. I'm going to actually keep that as a key to a victory for this game as well, for the same reasons. It opens things up offensively. It keeps his eyes down the field. And that's one thing that I'm really impressed with Shador, is his poise, his just calm as a cucumber, cool as a cucumber in the pocket. But he has the ability to extend the play, make some guys miss, do a couple of things here and there. I'd like to see him use his legs a little bit, keep his eyes downfield. Special teams has to be a net neutral or a positive. It cannot be. It's obviously sustainable for this to just constantly and consistently be a net negative.
It can be negative. Just look at the last 6 weeks.
That's my point. And all of them have resulted in a loss, essentially. So it has to be net neutral or positive. And I know that's pretty bland and basic, but man, you got to have it. These are fundamentals. You just have to play well in all 3 phases. It's going to be a pretty nasty game weather-wise. It's going to be cold. It's going to be just brutal. We're in December.
I think the low is 5 and the high is 13. That brings me back to the Saints game a few years ago in Cleveland. Remember when it was so cold?
Yeah. And listen, I know that asking for north of 4.5 a carry for the rushing attack is a lot to ask, especially with an incredibly depleted offensive line. I know what I'm asking here, but being that it is a weather game and it's just going to be cold, I'd like to be able to see this team just be able to just move the ball a little bit in the rushing attack.
But, here's the thing. Like, when it's cold like that, I kind of want to have my defense kind of just, kind of go after it and be a little more aggressive in a football game like that, because, man, you hit a guy when it's cold, the ball slippery, all those things. I kind of want the defense to be a little more aggressive in this game and take some chances and just kind of hit them in the mouth a little bit and see, this to me is going to be a game of will. I mean, as cold as it is, neither team is going to be happy to be out there, period. It's just going to be a miserable game to play in all phases. So.
All right, there you have it. All right, did we miss anything, David, from the medical moment or anything?
Totally just off topic. You guys brought it up earlier and just kind of developing. And Al, you told me this before, but it's now being reported by ESPN that Sherrone Moore has in fact been detained by police in Saline, Michigan. The report I saw was that he was breaking and entering an assistant's house, and there were reports that he was showing suicidal behavior. So this is not good. Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is, but this is a crazy day.
Oh my God. Wow. That is.
Okay, that was not on my bingo card. Holy.
This is insane. Look, I never thought I would say this as an Ohio State fan, but I do feel for Michigan fans. This is brutal and totally unexpected, and you just hope that everybody everybody involved in the situation is okay. And
yeah, of course.
This is
crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we don't know all the details, but I mean, there's speculation that this has been known for over a month, but it was being kind of swept under the rug, and then they waited until after signing day. There's so many levels to this.
Wow.
So yeah, you feel for the fans, you feel for the students, the athletes. Like this is turning out to be kind of a grim day, and man, it's tough.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, David. It's all over ESPN. Yep.
Please. Wow. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, David.
David, thanks for the breaking news.
Oh God. Yeah, happy to be here as always. I love it.
Goodness. All right, David. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
That is something.
Wow.
That is crazy.
We usually don't get breaking news sometimes we do, but not often do we get breaking news right in the middle of a show. That's wow.
Jeez. All right, Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Southern Tier Brewery while I get on Twitter real quick?
Yeah. Guys, Southern Tier Brewery right in downtown Cleveland here. That's right. We're going to have our Christmas party there. So come join us. Next Thursday, that's right, December 18th, 7:30. Come join us for our Christmas party. We're going to have the likes of Kevin Mack, Hanford Dixon, Bob Golick, Felix Wright, Greg Pruitt, and that's right, even Josh Cribbs is going to join us. And you can have that amazing Here We Go Brownies Brown Ale. That's right, check it out. But come check our Christmas party out. It's free to the public. Also doing some silent auction items for Bernie Kosar. As unfortunately, you heard he went back in the hospital today with some infections. He's kind of battling that liver disease after his transplant. So we're going to do some silent auctions. But yeah, join us next Thursday night, 1 week from tomorrow, 7:30. Going to be a lot of fun, free to the public. So free, come down, enjoy. Great food, great music, and it'll be all decorated up with Christmas gear.
Yeah, there you go. I cannot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Wow. You know who I feel bad for, in addition to the families involved, obviously, is the new recruits. Signing day just happened, and
yeah, I know the NCAA is kind of this fringe organization.
The timing of all of this is.
But I mean, can that be investigated? Like, if you knew about this, and then these kids were coming, and then
will be. I'm sure that it will be. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm kids and I'm a University of Michigan kid, like I'm back in the transfer portal, let's go. I didn't sign up for this mess. You know what I mean?
I think there's a world where Bryce Underwood throws himself in there. Like, this is nuts. This is going to have a lot of impact, and it's a really sad situation for those that are, involved in this. All right, let's make some picks. Dustin, you ready?
Yeah. How did I do? Did I? No, didn't win.
Yep, you got me.
Oh my God. There's a miracle in the sky. So I'm what, 2, 7, and 2?
Yep, you got it.
2, 7, and 2. All right. So we're going to go through the playoffs too. So I still have a chance to redeem myself. Okay.
All right, hang on. I'm just writing this all down. You are 2, 7, and 2. All right, let's start with tomorrow night. We've got Thursday night football. The Falcons at the Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah, Falcons.
By the way, I saw the Bucks got a lot of guys coming back off injury reserve, so they're in a good spot. So,
I didn't expect the Falcons to be this bad this year. Obviously, injuries clearly, but man, they've had a really rough year. Ravens at Bengals.
Ooh, Bengals are a little prickly.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Bengals. Actually, give me the Bengals and Joe Burrow. Let's go.
Ravens are cooked. I'm taking the Bengals here. Raiders at Eagles.
Eagles, they need to win desperately now. Yes.
Bounce back here. Cardinals at Texans.
Texans, don't they have the number 1 defense now? Let's go.
They are legit. They are very good. Chargers at Chiefs. That's going to be interesting.
I think the Chiefs are kind of cooked too.
They are.
Chargers are a better football team right now. I said it. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
All right, I am going to take the Chiefs. They desperately need a win to even have a sniff of the playoffs, which is crazy. They're not going to win their division for the first time in what feels like forever, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. I think they're a little desperate. Bills at Patriots. This is going to be a game.
Patriots. No. Such a good game. You know what? Give me the Bills because the Bills need to win this game to have a shot at winning the division. Give me the Bills.
I'm going to go with the Bills here too. They're also a little bit desperate. So I'm going to take them just because they need it a little bit more. The Jets at Jags.
As much as I hate it, Jags.
Jags.
As I hate it.
Commanders at Giants.
This is
tough.
Commanders.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm actually going to take the Giants here. Yeah, but at the same time, the Giants currently hold the number 1 pick. Do they want to?
Yep.
Yeah. And because that, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go with the Commanders.
I thought about that. I was like, do they want to hang on to that number 1 pick and have all the leverage? Probably.
Browns at Bears.
Browns at Bears. You know what? Browns shocked the world. They went on the road at Chicago. I know they're not favored. Give me the Browns to go on the road because the Browns, what do the Browns do? They beat teams they shouldn't beat, and they lose to teams they shouldn't, and that's the Browns way.
Yeah. I would love that. I'm going to take the Bears here. It's in Chicago. But I agree with you. They tend to play to their opponent. The Bears are really good right now. I think the Browns are going to play a decent football game. I could see a world where they win this one. I'm going to take the Bears in this one just for the sake of this game. Panthers at Saints.
I'm going to go Saints here. Give me the Saints at home. It's kind of I have no fight in this one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with the Panthers in this one. They're 7-16. Like, they're a sneaky team right now. They're not bad. They're not a bad football team. I'm going to go with the Panthers. This can be a great one. Lions at Rams.
Ooh. Rams are the best team in football until they prove they're not. Give me the Rams.
I'm going to go with the Rams here. Colts at Seahawks.
Seahawks. I don't know. Now, you watch Phillip Rivers will go to Seattle and win and be like,
Listen, I think it's worth a few bucks. You know, if you're a betting person, throw a couple of dollars on the money line or maybe the points.
Or just for the pure upset to see.
Yeah, throw it on the money line. I don't hate it. Packers at I agree. Seahawks. Packers at Broncos.
Packers at Broncos. Broncos are pretty tough to beat at home. Packers are pretty good, top 5 team. They're kind of walking away with the division. They could lose this game. So give me the Broncos because they're going to want to win the division. Give me the Broncos.
I'm going to go with the Broncos in this one. Titans at Niners.
Niners.
Vikings at Cowboys. Sunday Night Football.
Cowboys.
Monday night, Dolphins at Steelers.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, cool. I've got the Chiefs. You've got the Chargers. I have the Bears. You have the Browns. I have the Panthers, and you have the Saints. So that's what.
And by the way, you have that all written now. Can you send that to me just so I have it for like a reference for watching football on Sunday? Just text that to me.
I can do that.
Or just tell me who I took first. Just send me who I basically picked versus you is all I need.
I can do that. I'll send it to you. And then last but not least, before we wrap up, Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Lake Erie Distillery?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't had Lake Erie Distillery, check it out. They have the amazing dill pickle vodka. They also have, of course, the Burning River cinnamon whiskey, and, of course, all the great bourbons. Check them out in Willoughby, Ohio, or pick that up at your local liquor store in Northeast Ohio, or ask for it at your local drinking establishment.
There it is. It took me that long to find their logo.
That's right. And then, of course, we want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor that will be joining us. That is the original Stoke Steak and Hoagies. I had a chance to go out and try their food. It's amazing, by the way. They have smash burgers, 3 locations in Northeast Ohio. So go check them out. That's the original cheese steak and hoagies. Check them out.
Listen, I do love a smash burger. I'm a big fan.
By the way, I have become a huge fan of smash burgers. I like them. I mean, they're
easy to eat. You know, they're a little bit. Yeah, sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like I like a nice burger and, loaded, throw it on there. I like it, but it's hard to eat sometimes. And it's like dripping everywhere. It's just,
So I know we like to have fun. Can I ask a random question? It has nothing to do with sports.
Yes.
Because it made me laugh on your Insta. Is or is not David a bigger fan of the Jonas Brothers than Allie is?
Oh, that's a good question. David, come here and answer that. If I had to guess, I think so. I'm more of a lifelong fan. I grew up listening to them.
Of course, that's your generation, right?
I am just to my core. I love the Jonas Brothers, but I've gotten this guy hooked. So please answer.
Is he like a Taylor Swift, like one of those, like the Jonas Brothers? Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
Who's a bigger fan?
Definitely Jonas Brothers. I'm new to the game. If we check my Spotify Wrapped from 2024, it was all Jonas Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're it's a new. Okay, well, that if it's in your Wrapped as most listened to, that could be.
I would say the past 3 years. We saw him. We've seen him in a couple of years ago in Charlotte, and just he got hooked.
So really, Allie has introduced David to the Jonas Brothers and made them a part of his life, basically.
Yes, I have her to thank for that, along with many other things that making my life better.
That's a really good exit strategy there, David. I got to give you an A+ on that. It's like, and boop.
It was pretty good. All right. Anything else? We missing anything that we didn't get to? I don't think so. I think we got it all.
No, let's just hope the Browns aren't the Browns this weekend and they can beat the Bears. I hope for Shedeur to still ball out, show us that he can be the man going forward, and a lot of positivity going into the future. So
yeah. All right. There you go. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns.
SOS.